Filip, it is great to have you on. Could you give an introduction about yourself?
All right, so my name is Philip, and I've made approximately $1,200 from the real world, and the methods taught there.
Okay, cool.
Mm,
What about a personal introduction about yourself? What could you reveal? Age,
age,
where
oh
you're
right, yeah.
from?
So I'm 15. I come from Poland, like a little. I wouldn't call it like that, but it's a village near the mountains and the forest. So
Mhm.
that's pretty cool.
Should be a pretty cool location, right? Like good views, good in nature as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like nature. I like to stay in contact with it. In fact, I like prefer to have a lot of um, green stuff and animals around. I have a fish tank back there
Mhm.
with. So yeah, that's nice.
What kind of fishes do you have in your fish tank?
So I used to have piranhas,
Ooh.
and those were like I I don't actually know what happened to them, but it was nice looking at them like eating smaller fishes and ripping them apart into pieces.
Whoa, graphic. I'm joking. All good, all good. Okay, so growing up in the location that you are, does that mean
Mhm.
in your childhood you just go out and play in uh, out on the streets or in the forest or in the mountains? Like, what was childhood like? Because I grew up in Lithuania, first 5 years of my life, and I remember back then
Mhm.
I could just go out, meet up with friends on the same street, and we'd just be out just somewhere doing things, children things. So, was it similar for you as well, or no?
So most of my childhood was actually spent with my mom. We
Mhm.
were going mostly out to some walk, going on some walks, going outside. I mean, I wasn't really very sociable kid, and it was probably up until I've joined TRW because
Mhm.
there I was able to develop some social skills and actually stop being like a little fat kid playing League of Legends all day. So yeah, but when it comes to childhood, there's also fun fact because about when I was 10, you talked about like playing stuff, and about the age I was 10, I had an eye surgery actually, which the doctors have told me that I won't be able to play any sort of game or any sport. Like the guy told me, hey, you won't be able to jump even, or your eye will just pop off. You will have to like catch it and put it back, and this probably wouldn't work. All right, yeah. And but actually it turned out to work pretty good. Like I can work out now. I'm working out every day, and that's awesome.
Okay. So the doctor was wrong, basically. You're fine.
I mean, he was wrong because he's done some type of surgery that I wasn't able to do anything for 2 years, but after that I could gradually start doing something at least
Wow.
with my life.
Yep.
Mm.
And when he says that your eye will pop out and you have to put it back in, does it still function after you put it back in?
I have no
Okay,
idea, and
good.
I have no idea if the guy was joking or trying to scare me,
Okay,
but
see.
it worked.
Okay, because I was confused. Okay, cool. How did you find out about the real world, considering your location? Was it just online?
So it was online. Basically, around like December or something last year, I got into self improvement, started to do something with my life. But mainly, what I was doing is binge watching YouTube videos of guys like Hamza or Iman Gadzhi. You probably are familiar with them.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I was hearing about Andrew Tate, but I didn't really like him, didn't like his worldviews, even though right now I probably
Mhm.
agree with almost all of them. I won't say all of them, but the majority. And then I was like, I basically get very fed up after watching some like an hour long video with, hey, you will make money with this. And it was like a huge video sales page. I won't drop name which YouTuber or like creator that was, but I got really mad with that and decided to see, all right, this guy, Andrew Tate, he's driving supercars, he's rich, he has very good looking body. He's a kickboxer. Let me look into that. Then I probably seen him on Instagram or on TikTok, And as I looked into TRW site, it was the amount of social proof that convinced me that hey, this can work even though I'm so young.
Mhm. Okay, interesting. And when you joined, what campus did you get into?
So the first time I joined, I basically dived immediately into the freelancing campus, where I started with flipping, I believe, because that's advised for younger people, and I was very excited about it. And I'm not gonna mention why, but sort of my plans got shut off. Didn't really work that well. So I decided, all right, doesn't matter. I will go into freelancing, into email copywriting, which is quite popular. But I got into that, and then I became lazy. I stopped doing as many lessons as I should, and I decided like, this won't really work for me. So I was then jumping between different campuses, ecom, crypto, everything all over the place. So, and it's not really the best choice to make to jump everywhere. It's the best, in my opinion, to pick a few very close ones like copywriting and business mastery, because if you couple them, you have like a machine, you have so much knowledge from that.
Mhm.
And basically I was jumping between all these different campuses until I like decided to pick one. Like I told myself, all right, stop being a bitch and pick just one, stick with it. So I picked copywriting, and I started outreaching to people. I started to write some copy, and it didn't work that well. I've sent out like 100 probably with free value, and it didn't really work. I guess it was because my writing was shit, and but yeah, it was shit back then. Now I think it's at least decent,
Mhm.
and I wasn't really also consistent with it until there was a challenge run by one of the captains inside of the copywriting campus. I won't be name dropping, but like guy said, all right, whoever does 500 push-ups daily for a week and sends them to me, then he will get my private Telegram access and I will help him to get clients. Like, do you know who I'm talking about? Or
No, I don't.
yeah, right. So basically, this was this challenge, and even though I was able to do like maybe 15 push-ups in a row back then, so like very little amount, I did those 500 daily, literally a series of 10 every single day, like 50 series of 10 push-ups, and record them. And like my chest was falling apart after a few days, but it was survivable, I would say. And this is like the key point, this accountability to this captain, that convinced me later on, because after quite some time within this copywriting, even with his help, I quit because I believe I wasn't seeing results. So I was like, hey, I was supposed to make money quickly, I didn't. But it was purely because I was lazy and I wasn't doing the work I was supposed to do. In fact, the work I was doing back then in a week, I'm probably doing in a day right now, or even half a day. And I got basically very disappointed with myself after quitting. I was like, how can I be such a pathetic human being to not even try as hard as I can to achieve a better life? Then I decided to join back, and I also decided to join back because of this one captain, because I felt very accountable for him. He put in work to help me get clients. He helped me with my outreach. He gave me a lot of guidance, and like I felt like, how why should I be such a literally disappointment for everyone to quit right now and basically blow all of his and mine effort up? Then I rejoined, and it was about the time when UGC campus was opening. And then I came across the Pope, and the energy this guy had and the amount of like excitement he was able to give me and probably a lot of other students was the key factor for me to keep going regardless of how I felt, regardless of everything. I coupled my copywriting skills with the things that the Pope teaches, and I was able to land 2 clients. So that's some sort of my backstory.
Okay. What's the reason for you not wanting to reveal a captain's name? Is it just because you think you might not want to be in public, or because you're trying to, like, you weren't sure if you can? So yeah.
Mm, I mean, I didn't ask him about that, so I don't want to
Okay.
drop his name. Do you
Yeah.
think if he would be okay with that, or
I think I don't see a problem with that because it was a challenge you made, and then he he helped you, right? Like it helped you a lot. You said you felt accountable
yeah,
to him, so yeah,
yeah,
he was doing positive things for people. So I mean, I don't see why that would be a problem.
all right. So it was Andrea.
Mhm.
Please tell me I've spelled his name right at least this one time.
I don't think I've interviewed him. Uh,
I don't believe you did.
okay.
I've looked for an interview with him
Mhm.
on the Discover TRW, and I didn't find it because I was genuinely curious to see how this his interview went.
Well, I'll contact him. I'll try contact him after and get him on for interview, and then you can watch
Yeah,
that.
like he's an amazing guy. The amount of knowledge he has and the ability of his to pack this knowledge into like one 5 minute voice note to give me a whole idea to rewrite my own history as the copywriter was it's like amazing.
Mhm. Okay, very cool. So you say you've actually made money through content creation, then, right?
Yeah, the first money I've made was for through content creation and little coupled with copywriting because I did one gig for a client with who I'm working with right now on a percentage basis, but I basically rewrote some stuff for him. But
Mhm.
the bigger money I've made was from content creation and from making ads,
Mhm.
creatives, and running them for a I would say pretty decent brand.
Right. And how did you acquire those two clients for content creation?
So I actually coupled the stuff that Andrea told me with all the teachings from the copywriting campus and the amazing energy from the Pope
Mhm.
to outreach. And I believe I've acquired those two after sending around 200 DMs on Twitter, where the first one I actually got in 2 weeks of hard work, and it was huge turning point for me because it was the point that I started really working, really putting the work in. Every living hour I could, every power I was able to put in, I did it, and this allowed me to like land clients. So I discovered that it all lies within how much you are able to do. There's no such thing like, oh, copywriting doesn't work or content creation doesn't work. Everything works. You just have to put enough work inside of it.
Right, right. And how much has that generated you so far?
So far, I've made approximately around $1,200, and it genuinely in the country I'm living in, and with the income I had previously, which was some money from mowing the lawns, it really changes life immediately.
Good. How has it impacted your life then? Even just that amount of money, when you say change life, it just because it is it because it opened your perspective to what is possible, or did you use it for something?
So I actually used it a little. I mean, I've bought or already ordered myself some ants. Yeah, like animals, ants.
Yep.
As I said, I like all sorts of animals, so they will be on my desk in like a few days.
Hmm.
And in a week of time, I will be going to buy myself a bench press
Hmm.
to be able to work out more at home
Hmm.
and not only rely on push-ups or dips, as you can see in the back.
Yep.
And also the mindset change that I feel like I have the skills to make money at any moment, like just print it out of the sky and make it land on my lap. It's amazing, like
Right.
changes worldview immediately.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And now you know that it is just a matter of effort at this point because you have the guidance.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you put in the effort, you will get money from it.
Yeah.
Yep. How different is your average day now compared to before you joined the real watch?
How different I am now from
Just
to
your average
before.
day, how different does it look?
Oh,
What were
my
you
average
doing
day.
before? I know you've briefly went over this, but I want to dedicate a segment directly to it.
Or
So yeah, how your day was before and now how your day is now, average.
All right. So my day before joining TRW was waking up very late, or at least at the time as so I would be able to go to school. Only that mattered. No, I wasn't doing any work in the morning, just waking up like a zombie and going to school and literally paying no attention, doing nothing at all, going back home, playing video games, being like mad at everything, also feeling like shit, feeling with basically no energy at all, no zero purpose, and I didn't even know where to direct this energy I had left over, because there wasn't much of it. I was spending most of my time scrolling through some Instagram or playing video games, or really hanging out with people that weren't that great. And right now, I have very strict schedule, I would say. For my average day when I have to go to school, I wake up at 5. I read for a while so I can acquire more insights or knowledge when it comes to either persuasion or habits or something like that. Then I go and work out in the morning, so in the evening I can just focus purely on work. Then I will shower myself, check on all of my clients, check if everything is going great with, for example, Facebook ads, or is there something I must add to my checklist. And from that point, I go to school. As soon as I get back, I try to record or practice my speaking. And then I get purely into work and G work sessions, where I try to focus for as long as I can, basically, try to break the limits, and then take very short, very quick rest and go back to work. So, and I really enjoy that. That's the
Mhm.
difference, because like a year ago, when I wasn't working at all and I was just indulging into cheap dopamine sources, I was feeling like shit. I had no energy, as I said, and I felt unhappy. I felt sad all the time. And right now, even though I might be spending most of my time working, writing, and doing all of that, it's like the most fun time of my life. So.
Mhm. I remember having that feeling as well, but that was for me from age 18. I started waking up at. I just decided now that I'm 18, I need to be fully accountable and
Mhm,
take all responsibility for the current situation I'm in, and just completely flip my life around, because either I become a victim to my past, or I don't give in to the victim mentality and actually change. So I remember,
mhm,
yeah, I started waking up at 4 a.m., would study for 2 hours, then go gym, take a cold shower, then go to school, and come back, do some more work. And that was super productive. I kept that up for 4 months before 3 or 4 months before I remember I went on holiday, and then I stopped waking up 4 a.m. and then slowly things started spiraling down. But I remember just
mhm,
how gratifying that was. Those 3 months, those at the time were the best 3 months of my life, because I saw just massive change within myself, and my days were super productive as
mhm,
well. So I think I understand where you're coming from when you say you enjoy what you do now.
mhm.
Cool. Now, what about the resources within the real world? How different are they compared to what's out on the internet?
Oh, it's like, imagine you sitting down to watch a 1 hour long video from some YouTuber who explains an idea which could be fit into 60 seconds short video, and you waste 1 hour of your life. And on the second hand, you have TRW, where within like 5 minute video, Professor Andrew Bass from copywriting can fit so much knowledge that I can come back to these videos over and over again and pick up some gems that I've left over. In fact, right now I have this on my to-do list to basically go back,
Power
even
Up
after
course?
I've made some. Could you repeat?
Power Up course from Andrew Bass?
Oh, oh yeah, these are also awesome. I watch them every day, but also the normal lessons he's put out, like the amount of insights you can pick from this, and not only from him. Let's say the Pope in the content creation sphere, like the editing skills this guy has, the edits you can see from him is like on a whole another level. I did the ads I've made for my client. I felt like, damn, that's pretty good. Then I looked over at what the Pope does in like 24 hours, and not comparable at all. And I spent a couple days of doing that. And this guy teaches you exactly how you can do that, and has whole team responsible for teaching you AI and how you can use it. And that's basically, I believe the AI is going to take over in the future and it's going to eat away all these guys with no skill. And right now you can use it to differentiate yourself from the market so much, like it's so powerful. And
Mhm.
all of that with coupled with, for example, ecom knowledge, where Professor Schweib also teaches you how you can run profitable ads. In fact, I'm using his techniques for my clients and it's working amazingly. And all of that you get for $50 per month. Like it's crazy for me.
Mhm. Right, right. And that's the point, for people like you to make use of young guys, aspiring ambition. Maybe you had shit programming from childhood or just from society, and then to flip their lives around and become how you are now.
Mhm.
And it's beautiful to see. What do your parents think about, or your mother? Because since you said you were, are you only child then? Because I remember earlier you said you were with your mother going on walks. I don't know.
So I was the only child for a while. Like I
Mhm.
had brothers when I was much older, and
Okay.
then it really break off with, like, my relationship with my mom went downhill. Mm, but yeah, I feel it's how life works. If you get younger siblings, it's purely like it's normal that they need to be taken
Mhm.
care of. And like I'm a man, I don't need, I don't know, my mom to take care of me.
Mhm.
So
Okay, fair, fair.
yeah.
I was just wondering, what do your parents think about the money you've made and how you've changed? Have they reacted in any way to that?
So they are, I would say they are probably proud. I mean, they don't show it that much. They are like, okay, we won't be disturbing you. And that's probably their attitude. But I'm grateful for that because they are giving me the space I need to create what I want on my own and to improve and develop. And I believe that's probably the best they can do because that's my own journey. And yeah, and I believe that inside they are really proud of me.
Okay, interesting. Speaking of
Mm,
ants, I see two ants on my table right now, just walking around. No idea why they're there because I don't have any food here or nothing. But I guess they're scouting ants. Okay.
them like
Side note. What?
yeah, like I mean, when it comes to, have you ever like tried to have ants on your own, like in a special
No. I
terror?
haven't.
So it's pretty fun. I believe like watching all of them collecting everything, and it might be inspiring for some people. And let me explain,
Mhm.
because if you see these animals which are way smaller than you, they barely think, and they are able to do work day in day out, day in day out. They don't matter what the surroundings are, what are, like, they will use everything, every single living force they have to do the work they need to do. And that's actually what I believe is also the key to achieve anything in life.
Very interesting. And that is why you want them in front of you on your desk, just to remind you of that every time you look at them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Very interesting analogy. Okay. What would you say? Actually, I think you've already answered this. The biggest challenge you faced when you were starting out, I guess it was initially giving up. But what about when
hmm
you joined Content Creation Campus and you were implementing the lessons from there? What would you say was the biggest challenge there?
the biggest challenge there was actually, let me think a
Mhm.
little. Mm, Probably that I didn't feel at all like a creative person. I felt like I'm really boring. I couldn't come up with any ideas. And this was not only when it comes to creating content, but also in my writing. The ideas I was having were really not that useful. And it not only changed once I started to get deeper into creating content, but it also changed once I believe I watched one particular lesson, or it was a few of them, from the Business Mastery campus, where Professor Arno explained that the problem solving is basically the most important skill you can have. And he gave this. mm, his way of figuring out solutions to problems, and this coupled with forcing myself to come up with creative ideas probably helped me to go even further with my outreach with the stuff I do now for my clients.
Hmm. Okay, very nice. Uh, and I just realized we will need to wrap up. So, because I just
Mhm.
got too engrossed into your story, and yeah, when I have another interview lined up after, so let me wrap up. Uh,
Mhm.
just a few more questions. Where
All
do you
right.
see all of this heading for you in the short term, medium term, and long term, considering the trajectory you're on?
All right. So in the short term, in like a month, I probably see myself as, I don't know, making couple thousand a month from all the stuff I'm doing now, probably acquiring some more clients and starting to grow some team, because it's a little hard to keep up with everything, because I have school for like 9 hours a day,
Mm.
and I also have to learn for it because the teachers are horrendous. And yeah, and in the long run, I believe that I will want to really build new businesses once I grow this one, because it's probably the funniest part of it, of like when you build something, you start to, and when you see the results, for example, the money you make, or even the contract you sign, or even that someone who owns a business is really respecting your work as a professional, it's amazing, the feeling of building something. So I want to build new businesses in other spheres. I want to grow this one and make, I don't know, 10 millions a month. Yeah, that's the goal.
Very solid. And with your mindset, it does definitely, it seems attainable. Uh, at 15, you're already, I liked what you said about you record yourself and then look back on it to analyze yourself. That's super useful. Super good that you do it. Something I need to
Mhm.
do more of myself. Even though I do these interviews, I don't spend enough time reflecting back on them. It would be beneficial for me as well. But that's great. Great to hear you have good aspirations as well. As long as you stay on this course, it's pretty much inevitable that you will hit whatever whatever you dream of getting. Honestly, that's how life works. As I've gotten older, I'm still young relatively, but as I've gotten older, I realized if you truly align your heart and mind towards a certain goal or direction, it's inevitable that you will achieve it. And I've heard this from
Mhm.
everyone I'm around in terms of the high level people who have achieved just millions, can be millionaires, multi millionaires. They all say the same thing. It's just a matter of um, aligning your heart and mind to it. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, final question
All right.
to people who are unsure about joining the real world because maybe they think it could be a scam for the $50. What advice would you have to them?
All right. So for all the people, I will direct it more to younger people. So you're ready to go to university, go to high school, go to any school, and spend like whole bunch years of your life, like 10 years of your life. For example, it would take for me to pursue the road I had in mind before joining TRW, and you're ready to do that, but you can't put $50 in monthly to gain knowledge from people who are literally ultra successful in their fields, who give you lessons every single day on how you can make money. I mean, even let's take the freelancing campus as an example. Professor Dylan literally gives you step by step process for you to make money. It's like, as you said, it's inevitable to not achieve success if you follow their steps. They are literally guiding you by your hand.
Right.
And $50, which you probably would spend on some literally random stuff that you don't need, it's like, how can this be not worth it? If as I said, in 5 minute long video you get knowledge, I would say worth like, it's knowledge for your lifetime, it's worth thousands. And I believe that the price of TRW of $50 a month is, yeah, it's like unfair for the people who are teaching you. Like, it should be at 5,000 a month, then I would say it's fair.
Mhm.
So
Okay. You're doing very well for yourself at 15 years old. You're speaking well, especially since English isn't your native language. You've done very well in this interview in terms of articulating yourself. It's clear that you have put in practice into it. So that's been great. And yeah, thank you for sharing your
Mhm.
insights. For people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
So it's on my Twitter mainly. I'm there, and it's Filip Downscore IP on Twitter, or just search Filip Pelchar.
Mhm.
The surname might be a little harder,
I'll add it to the
but
description of the video so anyone who's interested.
all right, awesome. So just if you want to reach out to me, or you need like help with anything, or you are unsure about joining TRW and want to know the information like from the first hand, then just click the link in the description. There's my Twitter there, and I will tell you everything you need to know to find out more.
Awesome. Okay. And yeah, Philip, look forward to doing a follow up with you to see how everything's progressing
Hmm.
and to hold you accountable. We can do that in about 3 or 4 months. You can see,
All right.
yeah, see how everything's scaling for you. And until then, I
Hmm.
wish you all the best.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for the call. Like, thank you for the interview overall. It was very nice meeting you, because you overall have probably many more insights that everyone thinks you have on success. You've interviewed so many people, and you have your own story.
Mhm.
I'm curious. Just one question from me: have you ever done an interview, like someone done an interview with you about your success story? If I can see
Only
that somewhere.
briefly. Well, how should I say briefly? I've covered some of it. Pope done an AMA with me in the content creation campus
Hmm.
maybe a month and a half ago. There's an AMA somewhere there
Hmm.
that you could check. So yeah,
Yeah, I believe you should do like a interview with you for the public. I believe many people would be interested in that, and you are overall a very interesting person. I'm really like, I would love to ask you more questions, but as you said, we have to wrap it up. So thank you for the interview, and it was very nice meeting you.
it was all Philip. All the best.
All right, thank you.